There is a world that exists just beneath the surface of your digital life. It's a world of code, of pathways, and of secrets. Most people just see the screen. They see the websites, the apps, the emails. They never look deeper. They never ask how it all works, or more importantly, how it can be broken. This unseen world is the domain of the hacker. It's a place of incredible power, where information is the ultimate currency, and curiosity is the key that unlocks every door. For those who know how to navigate it, the digital landscape reveals its true structure, its vulnerabilities, its hidden potential. This isn't about Hollywood movies. It's not about typing furiously on a keyboard as green text cascades down the screen. Hacking is a mindset. It's the art of looking at a system and seeing not what it is supposed to do but what it can be made to do. It is about creative problem solving and understanding a system so deeply that you can bend it to your will. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It requires patience, persistence, and insatiable desire to understand. It's about the thrill of the puzzle, the satisfaction of outsmarting a complex system, and the responsibility that comes with that power. The path to becoming a hacker starts with a single question. How does this work? Every device you own, smartphone, smart fridge, is a puzzle box waiting to be opened. Every network you connect to is a maze of digital tunnels. The allure of hacking is the allure of discovery. It's about peeling back the layers of technology that surround us every single day and seeing the raw machinery whirring underneath. This is your invitation to look behind the curtain. It's a call to move from being a passive user of technology to an active participant, someone who understands and can influence the digital world around them. Let's clear up some confusion right away. Hacking is not inherently evil. It's not about causing chaos for the sake of it. At its core, hacking is the act of gaining unauthorized access to a computer system or network. But that definition is too simple. It misses the nuance. Hacking is really about finding an unconventional or clever solution to a problem. It's about using a system in a way its creator never intended. Think of it like lockpicking. Someone might pick a lock to steal something, but a locksmith picks a lock to help someone who is locked out. The skill is the same, but the intent is completely different. The importance of hacking in today's world cannot be overstated. Everything is connected. Your bank, your government, your car, your home. In the world of hacking, individuals are often categorized by the hat they wear. This metaphor shows motivations and legality. White hats. A white hat hacker, also called an ethical hacker. They have permission to hack. They are the good guys. Hired by companies to test systems, find vulnerabilities, fix them. Goal: make the digital world safer. Opposite side: black hats. Criminals break into systems without permission. Motivations: personal gain, malice, thrill. Every craft requires its own set of tools, and hacking is no different. Your most important tool, however, isn't a piece of software. It's your brain. Curiosity, persistence, a knack for problem solving. But beyond that, you'll need a specific set of digital instruments to practice your craft. The first thing you'll want is a dedicated operating system. While you can hack from Windows or Mac OS, most security professionals use a Linux distribution specifically designed for penetration testing. The most popular by far is Kali Linux. It comes preloaded with hundreds of powerful hacking tools, saving you the trouble of finding and installing them yourself. Once you have your operating system, you'll need to familiarize yourself with the essential categories of tools. First are the network scanners and analyzers. Nmap, Network Mapper, and Wireshark Nmap is like your digital flashlight in a dark room. It helps you discover hosts and services on a computer network, creating a map of what's out there. Wireshark is like a digital wiretap. It allows you to capture and inspect the data traveling back and forth on a network. Seeing this raw data is incredibly insightful and helps you understand how protocols like HTTP, DNS, and TCP/IP really work under the hood. Next up is the vulnerability scanning and exploitation framework. The undisputed king in this area is Metasploit framework. Think of Metasploit as a massive library of ready-to-use exploits. Once you've used a tool like Nmap to find an open door, a vulnerable service, Metasploit often has the key, the exploit code, to open it. You can't hack a system you don't understand. It's that simple. Before you even think about running a single hacking tool, your first and honestly most critical step is to build a rock-solid foundation in computer networking and operating systems. This is the part many beginners try to skip. It doesn't seem as exciting as launching an exploit. But that is a huge mistake. Without this fundamental knowledge, you're just a script kiddie, someone who can run tools but has no idea how they work or what to do when they fail. A true hacker understands the underlying technology. Start with networking. You need to learn the language of the internet. Dive into the TCP/IP model. Physical layer, application layer, HTTP, FTP. Learn about IP addresses, subnets, how data is routed from your computer to a server across the world. What is DNS? How does it translate a domain name like google.com into an IP address? What's the difference between TCP and UDP? If networking and operating systems are the anatomy of a computer system, then programming is its language. To truly influence and manipulate a system, you need to be able to speak its language. You don't need to be a master software developer who can build complex applications from scratch, but you absolutely must have a solid understanding of programming logic and be proficient in at least one scripting language. This skill separates the tool users from the tool makers. The best language for a beginner hacker to learn is Python. There are several reasons for this. Python has a very clean and readable syntax. It's easier to pick up than languages like C++ or Java. It's incredibly versatile and has a massive community. It has a vast collection of libraries for everything from web requests to network analysis. This is the step that separates the amateurs from the pros. You won't believe how much time a real hacker spends on this phase. Most people think hacking is all about launching exploits and breaking in. That's the final 5%. The first 95% is reconnaissance. This is the intelligence gathering phase, where you learn everything you possibly can about your target before you ever send a single malicious packet. The more information you have, the higher your chances of success. A well-executed reconnaissance phase can often reveal a direct path to compromise without needing a single fancy exploit. Reconnaissance can be broken down into two main types. Passive reconnaissance is about gathering information without directly interacting with the target's systems. You are like a spy, collecting intelligence from public sources. This includes using Google Docs, advanced search queries, sensitive documents, login pages that have been accidentally indexed, searching social media for employee information, looking up domain registration details using WHOIs, analyzing job postings to figure out what technologies a company uses. After you've exhausted your passive sources, you move on to active reconnaissance. This is where you begin to gently touch the target's network. This involves using tools like Nmap to scan the target's IP address ranges to see which hosts are online. Once you identify live hosts, you can perform a port scan to see which network services are running, for example, a web server on port 80 or an SSH server on port 22. You can then use more advanced scanning techniques to try and identify the specific versions of the software running on those ports. For example, knowing a target is running an old, unpatched version of an Apache web server is a massive piece of intelligence. This step is a slow, methodical process of enumeration. You are building a map of the target's attack surface. You take the information you gathered, like the specific versions of software and services the target is running, and you cross-reference it with known vulnerability databases. CVE, details, exploit DB. If your scan revealed a server running Apache 2.4.48, you can search these databases to see if that specific version has any known, publicly disclosed vulnerabilities. This is often the fastest way to find an entry point. If public databases don't yield a direct hit, you turn to vulnerability scanners, Nessus or OpenVAS. You simply point the scanner at the target's IP address, and it will run a battery of tests and produce a detailed report of potential weaknesses, often ranking them by severity. A true professional uses these tools as a guide, then manually verifies each and every finding to confirm it's a real, exploitable weakness. Once you have identified and verified a vulnerability, you move to the exploitation phase. This is where you use a tool or a technique to take advantage of the weakness and gain unauthorized access. This is where the Metasploit framework shines. You can search Metasploit for an exploit module that matches the vulnerability you found. For example, if you found a known remote code execution vulnerability in a specific version of a web application, Metasploit likely has a module for it. You configure the module with the target's IP address and other parameters, type exploit, and if all goes well, you will be rewarded with a shell, a command line interface on the target machine. This is the moment of truth. Gaining that initial shell is a huge victory, but it's often just the beginning. This initial access might be as a low-privileged user. The next steps, known as post-exploitation, involve trying to escalate your privileges to become a root or administrator user, moving laterally through the network to compromise other machines and maintaining persistent access. Remember, In your home lab, this is where you learn and experiment. In the real world, for an ethical hacker, this is where you document your findings in a professional report, providing the company with the exact steps to reproduce the vulnerability and the recommendations to fix it. You've taken your first steps. You've built a lab, learned the tools, executed your first simulated hack. But this is not the end. It's not even the beginning of the end. It is, perhaps, the end of the beginning. The world of technology and security is in constant flux. New technologies emerge, new vulnerabilities are discovered, new defense mechanisms are created every day. To be a successful hacker, you cannot be stagnant. Commit to a lifetime of learning. The journey never truly ends. Your curiosity must be your fuel. Find a community, join online forums, join Discord servers, join local DEF CON groups, surround yourself with people who share your passion. Learn from their experiences. Ask questions when you get stuck. Collaborate on challenges. Participate in capture the flag competitions. These are ethical hacking games. You compete to solve security challenges. You find hidden flags. You score points. Use platforms like Hack the Box, use TryHackMe. As your skills grow, so does your responsibility. Finding vulnerabilities can cause immense harm or immense good. The line between them is permission. Never test, scan, or attack any system without explicit written consent. Unauthorized access is a crime. Full stop. The best hackers are technically brilliant and trustworthy professionals.